Hi, welcome to the Coffee Hour, a show that involves you in verbal interaction. Sports with Brian Camp. So settle in with coffee in hand and enjoy the Coffee Hour. Now here's your host, Frank Allan.
TGIF, thank God it's Friday, and here we are once again gathered around the breakfast table, the dinner table, or the card playing table, or wherever you're watching us at your time of the day. Hi, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Coffee Hour. Yes, it's Friday, and we're here gathered together once again, and we're going to be here for a whole full hour. The Coffee Hour contains a lot of great stuff for you. For instance, we get you involved in conversation if you so desire, and by way of doing that, all you have to do is use your keyboard on your computer, your telephone, or your tablet, or any other device that you have a keyboard and a screen so you can watch us, and therefore you can communicate that way. We're so glad to have you along with us. And in the Coffee Hour, we have people who have been with us for a long time. Those of you who have been watching us a long time have been with us all of these years. We're so grateful. And for all of you who are brand new to the show, maybe you just entered the show last week, or maybe for the first time, we welcome you aboard no matter where you are around the world, around the country. As long as you have good Wi-Fi and you have a good hotspot, you can catch us anywhere around the world. We are global. So thank you so much for being along with us. For you newcomers, we want to let you know what the show is all about. First of all, so I get it started as I'm doing now. And while I'm doing all of this, at any time you like, even right now, you have your keyboard with you, type in whatever you want to talk about. You could say hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, or whatever it is in your time zone. Or if you want to join in conversation like everyone else, anyone that comes in, you could talk to them as well as talk to me. And if you have anything in particular you'd like to talk about in the program, of course, we welcome that too. We will try the best to entertain you with that and exchange ideas, because that's what the show is all about. It's free exchange of opinions and ideas, and we are opinionated. And I know a lot of you are too, just so you know. So with that in mind, keep that open for you, and you can join in anytime you like. Now, a lot of people may not want to indulge in conversation, but then that's okay too. You know why? Because as long as you're out there, that's the most important thing. As long as you're there and you're enjoying it, fine. As much as I would love to communicate with you and interact with you personally and say hi, if you want to lay back and just watch, that's okay too. Now, a lot of you may be in the same time zone I'm in, or maybe California time zone, and you may be at work right now, right? Leave that water cooler, and you may be on your coffee break, right? And this is part of the coffee break. I say, whatever you do normally on your coffee break, take the time, go to your computer, and stay there with your computer on and watch us while you work or while you take that coffee break. And then after the coffee break is over in that 15-minute span time, you can go back to work and watch the show and work at the same time, something I like to call multitasking. And you can do that. So therefore, thank you guys for being with us. Now, must tell you that we come on 3 different places. We're on Facebook Live, on YouTube, and Instagram as well. And so any 3 of those will get you there, no matter where you are. And a lot of people like to travel with us. They walk along the street carrying their cell phones and watching the show at the same time. Be very careful when you do that, though. Drop everything that you're doing when you're crossing the street, and keep an eye on the road. And if you're driving, well, you shouldn't be watching this show if you're driving. And you're the guys that are going to get the break. We're not going to chastise you for that, but you shouldn't be watching this show if you're driving. Other than that, everybody is watching, and that's great. And also, if you're watching us on Facebook, you get a chance, and you can do it right now. This is a better time to do it than later, is to tag all of your friends. And the reason why we want you to do it now, because we're getting started. Tag some of your friends, all of your friends, or one of your friends, and let them know that we're on the air. You can tag them, and they'll see that information coming from you. They'll know it's you. They'll trust you. They'll click onto that tag, and it brings them directly to us. That's all you have to do. Now, how do you tag a person? A lot of people ask, oh, all right, well, I guess you can type in my name, right? You can type in my name and it'll be highlighted. And then you send it to them. And what they do is they click on to my name and it brings them directly to us. And I think you could do the same thing with Instagram. I'm not sure. Never really tried it with Instagram, but I think you can do the same thing. But do that right away, and we really would appreciate that. The more the merrier. The more we get it here, the merrier. And if they like what they see, if they like what they hear, we'll keep coming back again and again. For those of you who are watching us on YouTube, right? You YouTube watchers? Okay, now I want to just point out something to you. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel. As a matter of fact, I really wish you would. It helps us a lot when you do that. And for you to subscribe to the YouTube channel, all you have to do is just take your mouse and drag it over where it says subscribe. Click that button where it says subscribe, and that's all it takes. No money involved. We don't ask for a fee or anything like that. It's totally free of charge. We would like you to be part of us. And when you subscribe to us, that'll give you a chance to know whenever we come on live, or if we so much as post a video and you're online, you'll see it. Instant message right there. It'll tell you right away that we're there, because a lot of people will sit back and say, oh, you know something, I forgot all about that show, but luckily the pop-up came up, so I'm going to click onto that pop-up, that instant message, and it'll bring me right there. That's all it takes. So there you go. So that's the benefit of being a part of us by subscribing to the YouTube channel. And for you guys who are watching us on Instagram, well, there's nothing much you can do except just tell your friends and family, keep the word going that we're on the air, and tell everybody, get them involved as well. We would love to have them all. Remember, because every time, again, we have them come on, you know, it helps us a lot. And have your friends tell their friends, and so on and so on and so on. What we have on the show today are our usual features. Of course, you're no different. Of course, we can interact with you, keep talking or whatever it is. But while we're doing all of that, I want you to know that we have our feature. We do our own particular rigmarole around here. For instance, a few minutes from now, within this half hour, we're going to link up with Brian Camp coming out of Charlotte, North Carolina. And he's going to provide us with the weekly sports update. That's the name of his show. And that's coming on. And you'll get a chance to see him if you're watching us on YouTube or Instagram. But if, well, YouTube and Facebook, but Instagram, we don't have that luxury. You'll get a chance to hear him, but you won't get a chance to see him. But if you have any questions, sports related, you can ask. Even you guys on Instagram, even though that you don't see him, you can hear him. You won't be able to see him, but you can hear him. And if you have any questions, just give me the questions. If Brian don't see it, I certainly will, and I can relay it to him. But a lot of times he'll see it if you're watching on Facebook. I think he's always coming on Facebook, so he monitors Facebook, so he'll see everybody on Facebook. But I'm not so sure about YouTube or Instagram. But I see it all. I see everything. I have the sites on everything, so I can see everything that's going on. So if you have any sports-related questions for him, please feel free, and you can do that while he's here live. That's coming up. Also, later on in the program, before the show is over, it's almost like at the tail end of the program, we bring you those great movies. Now, everybody celebrates the weekend, and of course, the weekend is upon us right now. It's coming along. For those of you who work those 9-to-5 jobs, when you get off at 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock, before you go home, I know you're going to indulge in happy hour. That's a given. I can understand that. But for the weekend overall, if you're going to stay home and just relax and do absolutely nothing, and you want a chance to catch up on some old movies, because remember, you were out a long time Friday, happy hour, so that keeps you in the house, right? Hopefully, to nurse your hangover. I don't know. The point is once you have these movies, right, you might want to catch up on some movies, right? And I have my picks of the week coming from Turner Classic Movies. A lot of them are classic black and whites. And I have my picks of the week for your weekend. That's coming up later on in the program, so we hope you stand by for that. A lot more to come, and it's you and me against the world. Remember that all of the view and the opinions expressed on this show, The Coffee Hour, does not necessarily reflect the view or the opinions of the people of Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Zoom, or any other media publication, broadcast publication, or social media outlet. So with that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, let's do what we always do. Let's raise our cups, whatever it is. And for you kids, your sippy cups, your orange juice, or whatever it is, raise them. Because what would coffee hour be without a little coffee? So excuse me while I shoot up. Oh boy, that's delicious. That's delicious. First jolt of the day. Those of you who are going to indulge in conversation, I always ask you this. It's not something that you have to do, but we always ask you to do it because we like to compare notes. What I want you to do if you're going to indulge in conversation is to give us your weather forecast. All right. Now, it doesn't have to be a full-blown weather forecast. I take care of a full-blown weather forecast. That's a service that I have to put out. But for you, you could throw an emoji and I get the idea. And just give me something like lights and simple, whether you have sunny skies and whatever degrees that you have on the horizon and what it's going to be like for your weekend. We like to compare notes on doing that. So those of you who are in different parts of the country, different cities, different parts of the world, give us your weather forecast because everyone doesn't have the same weather forecast. As for us, well, we're going to tell you about that. I will give that weather forecast. So for the rest of you who live in New York and even the vicinity of New York City, you don't have to worry about it. I will take care of that, and that's coming up pretty soon. And we look forward to it. I want to say hi to all of you guys who are watching us on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Instagram. It's always a delight to have you aboard with us. Great things happening. And guess what? Would you believe it? Today is National Popcorn Day. It is. Get your microwave set, get ready. Whether you're going to, I don't have any popcorn along with me right now. But you can bet I'll have some later on to celebrate this National Popcorn Day. And so you get your microwave set and pop it out. And by the way, this will go good for all of those movies that you want to catch up on the weekend. You don't have to eat popcorn just because it's National Popcorn Day. You could eat popcorn today and tomorrow as well. But yes, that's what we're celebrating today is National Popcorn Day. You know, we have all of these things that we celebrate, and that's one of them today. So yum, yum, a little butter, a little salt, not too much salt. You know, you want to keep that your sodium level down, you know, because, you know, that causes a lot, like high blood pressure and all that. So you watch your salt intake and a little butter, not too much, you know, just enough to make it taste yummy. National Popcorn Day. Now, for those of you, and I always talk about this as well, because it's very important to me and it should be to you, we are already well into the flu season, into the winter months. It's cold outside. And a lot of you have probably not taken your shots yet, all right? And that's what we want you to do. If you haven't taken that flu shot, you should have took that a long time ago. But there's one that I want to, you know, to get out there for you. These shots that I want to get out there for you. And this is the updated COVID-19 vaccination. It's available now to everyone. The only thing that you have to do is go to your pharmacist, go online, make the appointment if you have to, depending on where you are. You may and you may not have to make the appointment, but if you do have to make the appointment, you could do it online. And if they're nice enough, maybe they are, and I believe they are nice enough. When you walk into that pharmacy, just say, hey, you know, I'd like to make the appointment right now, if I may, you know, that would be great. And I'm pretty sure they'll do that for you. And, but when you make that appointment, please keep that appointment. It's very, very important. Now, we know this time of the year, the issue of the COVID spikes. I don't know if we're ever going to get rid of this altogether. This may be something that we have to do each year. We don't know as time goes on. Science will tell us more about it as we go on. But right now, the updated version now, and this time of the year, when the weather gets cold, the spikes rise. For some reason, in the summertime, it lowers. But listen, if you take the shot, keep in mind that it doesn't mean that you won't attract COVID. The good news is, though, is that it will keep you out of the hospital and it keeps you off the ventilators and all of those things. Remember how it was when the pandemic came along? It was terrible. People were in the hospitals. It was cluttered. People had to bedside. They didn't have rooms, so they were lying out in the lobby, waiting for rooms and things like that. It was a terrible sight. It's no longer a death sentence as long as you stay proactive and stay with your shots. Make sure that your children get your shots. Keep updated, and because that's what we want to do. We want to keep you all healthy and strong, because that's what it's all about. And for all of you kids, eat your veggies and fruits, and vegetables. Now they say, you should have at least 5 servings a day of fruits and vegetables. Now, I don't know a human on this planet that can actually eat that much vegetables and fruits altogether. But the good news is that they have supplements that you could add on to your diet. And an apple a day will keep the doctor away. Every once in a while, before you go off to the gym or anything, get a piece of fruit, or maybe even after the gym, get yourself a piece of fruit. Apple is good because apple has the water. It hydrates you. And drink a lot of water too. Speaking of hydration, drink a lot of water, as much as you can. And it helps you out a lot. It helps you out a lot. And do plenty of exercise. And I'm pretty sure in the schools right now, they're promoting physical education, right? They're doing that. They always have, and they should always will, for young people to keep up stamina. And when you go out to school, you want to have a nice hearty breakfast. I remember growing up as a kid, whether I wanted to eat breakfast or not, my mom made me eat breakfast. And the reason for that is that as long as you have a good breakfast, a good meal in your system, you could study better, you could focus. That's the whole idea. I just never knew that as a kid, she just said, eat, manja, eat, And she always had me to eat breakfast, whether I wanted to or not, because she wanted me to stay focused in school. And now that I understand that, I pass that along to parents, so you can pass that along to your kids. It's very important that they have a great meal, a great breakfast to get them through lunch. And then when they have a nice lunch, and then it's time to go back to classes, they'll be all in tune to what's happening in classes. They'll focus better, they'll learn better, and they'll come up with good grades. Don't believe that, right? Try it. It's very important. So, let's stay healthy. Let's stay clean of all the impurities. Stay away from cigarettes. Cigarettes, all of that stuff. You don't need it, right? That's the thing that a long time ago, cigarettes were fashionable in those days, but now, people are getting off, and, they have these new things that take the place of tobacco. They have vaping, which is even just as bad as smoking tobacco. So you want to stay away from all of those things. I speak lightly on that because I don't want you to make the same mistakes I've made in life. When I was younger, I used to smoke cigarettes, and a lot of them, and find out later they're really no good for you. But the good thing is never too late to stop. And as you could see, all those PSAs that you see on TV and commercials are getting people try to stop smoking, stop vaping, and put something else in its place. Have an apple, have a banana, peach, pear, grapes, something like that. Make that as your substitute. And I guarantee you'll feel better in the morning, and you'll be able to learn with everyone, and you'll have a good time. Okay, let me give you my weather forecast, because I told you that I would. And again, those of you who are in the New York area, you don't have to worry about this because I'm doing it. But for the rest of you who are going to chime in conversation, give us your weather forecast. Now, here's my weather forecast right now. It's been cold for the past couple of days, and right now we're getting along pretty good. We've got 31 degrees as we speak right now. That's what we have presently, 31 degrees outside, and we've got those clouds in. And this is what our weather forecast looks like for today in New York City. Periods of snow. Temperatures nearly steady in the low to mid 30s. Winds will be north-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chance of snow will be 100%. So get ready for that. Take the gear with you. And about 1 inch of snow expected. That's here in New York City. So it's happening all over again. Cloudy early with some clearing for tonight expected. Later on tonight, we'll have a low near 20 degrees, so it gets better. Winds will be northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, we come along, we get a little better intervals of sun and clouds. And that's happening in the morning with more clouds later on in the day. So the clouds will dominate later on in the day. We'll have a high of 26 degrees. Winds will be northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday night, you're going out on the town. It's going to be partly to mostly cloudy. We'll have a low around 20 degrees, no snow, no rain in the forecast. Winds northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. And to start your Sunday off to church or whatever you do for the Sunday morning period, as we wrap up our weekend, it looks like this is going to be sunny skies. We're going to have a high 33 degrees and winds will be northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. And repeating, that current temperature is 31 degrees, and they say we're going to have a high of 32 degrees today. So 1 more degree, hey, it can go higher than that. Mother Nature does what he wants, right? Or what she wants. It can go higher than that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get going, time to get cracking, because right now we're going to make a switch. A little late, sorry about that. We're going over to Charlotte, North Carolina right now because Brian Camp is with us and he's got the latest developments in today's world of sports. We've got snow coming on the way. What do you have?
We have this weekend no snow, no rain, some clouds, temperature going up just a little bit, just a little bit. It is 45 degrees right now. Lots of sun, but it's going to be high gust of winds for the day. So we're in pretty good shape for the weekend. Perfect weekend to watch sports, of course, if you're not doing anything. You men out there who love football, take my advice. Go do your errands today, early part of tomorrow. Make the wife happy and settle. Let her know. Let her know. It's Saturday, around 3 o'clock. That's it. Errands over. That's it. Take it from me as an experienced person. Do the husband thing to do. You have to do it. You should do it. Not you have to do it, but you should do it. But make sure your weekends is free from 3 o'clock on, so you could enjoy the football games. Okay, take my advice. But good morning to you all out there listening, nationwide, globally, and locally. I greet you. Good morning. Like I said, it is 45 degrees out here in the Queen City of Charlotte, North Carolina, where it's going to be lots of sun, but it's going to be high gusts of winds. And hope everybody is safe and doing well. But in the sports, let me get right to it. Like I just mentioned, this weekend, we got division playoff games coming on. First game is on Saturday at 4:30. I should change that to 3 o'clock. No, 3 o'clock is good. So you have time to make yourself some burgers and whatever beverage or whatever you want to have. So you get ready for the 4:30 game. I'm sorry, I said 3 o'clock, but stick to 3 o'clock because you want to have that 90-minute cushion where you could be set. First game is at 4:30. Houston Texans will be going against the Baltimore Ravens. That game is going to be on ABC, ESPN, and ESPN Plus. The second game of that doubleheader will be the Green Bay Packers be going against the San Francisco 49ers. That game will be at 8:15. That's a primetime game. That game will be on Fox. And then after that, you can just relax, watch some other sports, and then get ready for Sunday. You do your manly duty, and go. If you want to go to church, that's up to you. I'll be in church, but at 3:00, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Detroit Lions. That game is at 3:00 on NBC, and the main matchup, it would be at 6:30 on CBS. The defending champions, the Kansas City Chiefs, will be traveling to Orchard Park, New York, to play against the Buffalo Bills. These are going to be 4 good games, hopefully. I would say 3 out of the 4, they claim that they're going to be blowouts. But you know what? With the playoffs, you just never know. You just never know. Congratulations to the New York Mets organization, where Darryl Strawberry and Dwight Gooden will have their numbers retired. The New York Mets announced this for April 14th. Dwight Gooden, his number 16 will be retired, and June 1st, Darryl Strawberry, number 18, will be retired as well. Now, Darryl Strawberry is 61 years old. Is an 8-time All-Star player, 7 with the Mets from 1983 to 1990. His career batting average is .259 with 335 home runs and a career exactly 1,000 RBIs, and stole 221 bases in a 17-year career with various teams, but he's known for the Mets. His buddy, Dwight Gooden, 59 years old, was a 4-time All-Star playing for the Mets from 1984 to 1994, winning the 1984 Rookie of the Year and the 1985 Cy Young Award. He also won 194 games, lost 112, with a career ERA of 3.51, and had a total of 2,293 strikeouts in 16 seasons. They both played for the Yankees as well, too. I believe they won World Series with them as well, too. So they had great careers. These 2 guys stole New York. They stole New York. These guys were young, vibrant. They ran into some issues with their personal life, but they recovered for the most part. But congratulations, because I'll say this: without them, I'll say it again, without them, the New York Mets would not have won the 1986 World Series, because during that time the Yankees had some down years, and the Mets and these 2 superstars was playing for the Mets. The Mets were at the highest peak. So congratulations to these 2 guys, to these 2 gentlemen. They deserved it, and I wish them nothing but the best. I don't know if they have numbers to go into the Hall of Fame, but they certainly had stole New York's hearts, and congratulations to them. This day in sports, January 19, 1934, Major League Baseball Commissioner Kenshaw Landis denies Joe Jackson appeal for reinstatement for the Black Sox scandal. In 1919, the team, the Chicago White Sox, took some money for a bribe, and for some money, and Joe Jackson, his name is Shoeless Joe Jackson, was trying to get reinstated, but did not. It was denied. 1937, Cy Young, Trish Speaker, and Nat Lajoie elected into Baseball Hall of Fame. 1953, Jesse Owens, Illinois Athletic Commissioner Secretary, was named. 1972, Sandy Koufax, Yogi Berra, and Early Wynn elected into Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. 1974, the college basketball, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish men's basketball team beat the UCLA Bruins to end an NCAA record of 88 straight games. I remember that game. I watched that game. That game was on NBC. It was electrifying when all the fans at Notre Dame was like pouring into the court, because they stopped one of the greatest basketball programs to ever play, the UCLA Bruins, and they snapped an 88-game winning streak. 1977, Ernie Banks was elected into the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. 1978, Eddie Matthews elected to Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. 1981, Muhammad Ali talks to a despondent 21-year-old out of committing suicide. Never knew that, but when I saw that, I had to just read up about it on. And Muhammad Ali, for his work that he did in the ring, he was just as much or more important what he did outside of the ring. I could talk all day about Muhammad Ali, but he was the greatest of all time. Yes. 1989, President Ronald Reagan partners New York Yankee owner George Steinbrenner for supply illegal funds during Richard Nixon's campaign. And in 2000, Michael Jordan returns to the NBA, joining the Washington Wizards as part owner and president. Birthdays today. Happy birthday to the late Minnesota Fats, known as Rudolph Wanderon. He was a billiards person that shoots pool, player and an entertainer, was born in New York City, New York, 1944. Dan Reeves, NFL player and coach, was born in Rome, Georgia, 1954. Steve DeBerg, NFL quarterback, was born in Oakland, California, 1957. O.J. Anderson, NFL running back, was born in West Palm Beach, Florida, 1963. Michael Adams, very short guard that played for the NBA teams in Denver, was born in Hartford, Connecticut. Junior Seau, NFL linebacker, Hall of Famer, NFL Defensive Player of the Year, 1992, was born in Oceanside, California. 1969, Luke Longley, NBA Australian center, was born in Melbourne, Australia. And in 1972, happy birthday to Tyrone Wheatley, NFL running back, was born in Inkster, Michigan. And ladies and gentlemen, that is sports on a nice approaching weekend here in the Queen City of Charlotte, North Carolina.
Wow. Minnesota Fats. Now, I remember Minnesota Fats. Did you ever see that movie, The Hustler?
The Hustler, that was with Paul Newman, I believe.
That's right.
Paul Newman was there, was in that movie. Jackie Gleason, I believe, played Minnesota Fats, right, if I recall.
That's
yeah.
Right. That's right.
Yeah. Excellent movie. Yeah.
He was supposed to be the real hot pool shark. I mean, no one could beat him. No one could beat him.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
if you remember, there's a Twilight Zone episode with Jack Klugman and Jonathan Winters, right?
Jonathan Winters.
Mentioned Minnesota's Fats name, but you could see that Jonathan Winters was like the fat guy. He was Minnesota.
Exactly.
They never mentioned the name. So
exactly.
I think that I think that inspired that episode too. Yeah, he was a very inspiring man. That fiasco with Muhammad Ali, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
And, I didn't know that Muhammad Ali was used. Let's keep it real. Muhammad Ali was not a well-beloved man back early in his career. It seemed like he became beloved when he was reinstated into the boxing after the Vietnam thing, maybe a little bit afterwards. But he was sent out to various times to different countries to talk peace and help bring hostages home from various countries and everything. One of the greatest moments I think of Muhammad Ali is when he was carrying the torch for the Olympics. Forgot what year that was. As you know, Muhammad Ali is one of my favorite people who ever lived. He was an excellent role model, and really missed him. Not for what he did in the ring, because we know what he was like in the ring. He was a showman, but he was a very intelligent man.
It took me a long time to warm up to Muhammad Ali back when he was Cassius Clay. He had that big mouth, and I said, I don't like this guy, but I was young and didn't understand that he was a promoter. He was promoting himself. He didn't need a promoter. He was promoting.
Exactly.
He marketed himself. And when he called himself the greatest, I said, man, this guy. But when he backed up everything he said, and I said, well, you got to respect this guy. And then he became beloved by everyone. Everyone loved him. Everyone wanted to be near him, And me personally, I had the honor to be in his company once. I did an interview with him. It's a long time ago. This is when I first got into radio, my first year in radio. And I had the honor to be with him and to talk to him. And the side that I seen in Muhammad Ali, the time that I interviewed him, wasn't the side that everyone see. I saw the other side of Muhammad Ali. He was laid back, subdued, courteous. I mean, well, he was always a courteous man, but he was always courteous. And people, the reason why people didn't like him, because he was too smart.
Well, back in those days in the 60s, they didn't want to see a smart mouth man from Louisville, Kentucky, a black man talking all this here trash talk and everything. But that was his thing. Yeah. He promoted his own fights, basically.
Yeah.
And if there was anybody that I would have loved to meet, it would have been Muhammad Ali, for sure, no doubt. Yeah.
I loved him. I was, guy is like tall, big guy, and
I hear his hands is very huge too.
Yeah. But I had the pleasure. It was my honor just to be around him just for those few moments with him. He, like you say, he did his thing in the ring. Everybody knew him but he was a goodwill person. A lot of people don't know that. He did a lot of things outside of the of the ring. He was in the Muslim. He didn't just do things in the Muslim community. He did things in the Black community all around. He helped his people. That's what he did. And when the time when he decided that he was not going to go to the service, and he said it. He said, "I'm not going to go. Why should I go? They didn't do anything to me." And
where we have problems here within the country, fix the problems here within our own country. And I remember I was young, but I read up on him a lot,
And when he did, I think I was in my college days when that happened. Do you realize when he said that, when he didn't step up, even though there were some people that didn't like that said, he was a draft dodger or whatever it was, even though a lot of people said that, the younger generation stepped up to him and said, "Yeah, something, he's right." And not just blacks, it were white kids too. They said, "Hey,
exactly.
He was right. Why should we go over there and fight?" And that's when the whole burn the draft card came around. People started burning the hippies, burning their draft cards. When I was in college, I was hanging around with all of them. I was with the hippies, all the Black revolutionaries and all. Yeah, I was a revolutionary back in those days. And and the white revolutionaries and the Black revolutionaries, they got together. And they had that chant, "Hell no, we won't go."
That's right.
But he was right. That Vietnam War, no war is justified anyway. No war.
Yeah. The 60s were like, this was like incredible, from the assassination to Medgar Evers to Woodstock in the late 60s and to the 1969 capped it off with the first man walking on the moon. And of course, in between that was the civil rights and assassinations of a president, a U.S. senator, and a civil rights leader. It was crazy back then. Yeah. I don't remember it because I was born in the 60s, but reading up on it was just incredible. It was amazing how one decade could change the course of the history in this country.
We had those assassinations. There were 5 assassinations in the 60s. You had Medgar Evers, you had Malcolm X, you had Martin Luther King, Bobby Kennedy, and John F. Kennedy. 5 assassinations in that one decade.
Yeah.
And we celebrated Martin Luther King's birthday just this last week. Just Monday, as a matter of fact.
Monday.
Yeah. And I'm sitting back there and watching some of his documentaries that came on the air, which I love that they did that. I love anytime they show any kind of documentaries on Martin Luther King, I'm going to pull up a ringside seat and watch it. And not only that day, I don't know why, but they were showing on Turner Classic Movies, they were showing a lot of Sidney Poitier movies. So I had to watch all of those. every one of those, I could talk about all of that all day, but
Yeah.
that it was a great era. I enjoyed it. I had a good time.
If there's a movie you want to see on Netflix, very very quickly, I just saw the movie called Rustin. Um, Bayard Rustin. He was the one that pushed for the March to Washington. I read up on him. I saw him on The View. He
Mhm.
was an open gay man who helped push Dr. King
Mhm.
to do this here march.
Mhm.
You gotta see the Netflix movie. It was really great. So much history.
Yeah,
There's a lot that I still don't know, but I always, every chance I get, I sit down, I stop what I'm doing,
yeah,
and I not only with Black history, but history, period, in
yeah.
all ethnic. That's why every time when I go away, I travel. I always take a tour to find out the history of that country.
Mhm.
I want to know about their struggles. I want to know how they overcame their struggles and how they triumphed and how they are now. And that's history was always one of my favorite subjects in school. So yeah.
Hey, by the way, before we go, there's another Malcolm X movie out. I saw it lightly. I saw the trailer lightly. I didn't get a chance to see the whole thing, but I think it's coming on ABC. I'm not sure. I hope they show that trailer again, but it's another Malcolm X movie coming on. So I like to see movies like that. Just go back in history, go back in time. And the thing about it, I was there. I seen it. I,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so uh,
Yeah.
I could tell the story. I wasn't physically there, but I was in that era, in that day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, listen, you're set for the weekend, right?
Yep. All set. A lot of sports, of course. A lot of Netflix and Prime Video. A lot of stuff to do. In my household, with me, it's never a dull moment. I find things to do.
Good for
I
you.
don't need to go outside. I watch everything here.
Well, there's sun. You got
No,
sunshine on a cloudy day. You don't have to go outside in the
if
month.
I go outside, it's to cook, to smoke, or to grill. That's that's it. I do all my chores early in the morning. After that, I'm set. You don't see me leave the house.
Yeah. Well, enjoy it. Enjoy it. Can't wait for the summer though. All right.
All right.
Back here next week then.
Everybody enjoy your weekend and be safe. Take care.
Take care. As Brian Camp, ladies and gentlemen, with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. He's with us each week at this time. And I love talking sports, as you can see, talk movies too, all of that. When it's something when you can go back in time, seeing the era that I grew up in the 50s and the 60s. I go back in time and there's a lot. And if you have any questions about that era, and you're younger, you could ask me. I can talk about all of those things. And we had times of the movies when it was 50 cents. You get to see 3 features of 50 cents, but that's another show. We could talk about that another time as well. And right now it's the coffee hour, and we're going to be here till the top of the hour. So glad to have you aboard with us. And we're going to be here till, as I said, the top of the hour. My name is Frank Allan. Thank you so much for joining us. Joyce Randolph, a veteran stage and television actress whose role as a savvy Trixie Norton on The Honeymooners has passed away this week. Randolph died of natural causes Saturday night at her home in the Upper West Side in Manhattan, in New York City. She was the last surviving main character of the beloved comedy from television's golden age of the 1950s. She was 99. Actor Alec Musser, known for his role as Del Henry on the popular daytime show, the daytime drama All My Children, has died as well. It was confirmed that the cause of death was suicide of a gunshot wound. Sources said that he was alive the evening of January 12th when his fiancee went to sleep, and the next morning she found him dead in the bathroom and called 911. Musser was 50 years old. Actress Christina Applegate of that sitcom, Married with Children, was met with a standing ovation as she presented the award for the Best Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series at the 2024 Emmys. The 52-year-old actress, who was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in 2021, while filming the third and final season of Dead to Me, made a rare appearance at the show on Monday, and she was nominated at the 23rd Emmys for the lead actress in a comedy series for the show. And as the crowd stood up and cheered, Applegate joked and said, "You're totally shaming me standing up here while I'm standing up here using support or crutches as a support, a cane as support." On Tuesday, Jewel and Melissa Etheridge, they announced they're going on a North American co-headlining tour throughout the summer and fall of 2024. They will embark on 2 legs of their joint tour, with the first stint of live dates kicking off July 11th in Bona, Montana. The tour will be playing alongside the West Coast, with stops in minor cities like San Diego, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, and others before performing a few shows in the Midwest and wrapping up the initial leg on August 7th. Janet Jackson is bringing her fans back together again. On Tuesday, the singer announced she would be extending her Together Again tour 2024, just 1 year after announcing her return to the road. Jackson will be adding 35 dates to the run, which will kick off June 4th in Palm Desert, California, and wrap up June 30th in Phoenix. Along the way, she'll make stops in Los Angeles, Boston, and New Orleans, and more. Birthdays today. Actress Jodie Sweetin of Full House turns 42 years old today. Comedian Paul Rodriguez, 69. Actress Katie Segal of Married with Children, that's Peg, she's 70 years old today. Actor Desi Arnaz Jr., 71. The late singer Robert Palmer would have been 75. Dolly Parton is 78. Singer-actress Shelley Fabares of The Donna Reed Show, she turns 80 today. Janis Joplin, the late Janis Joplin, would have been 81. The late Phil Everly of the Everly Brothers would have been 85. Actress Tippi Hedren, she played in The Birds with the Alfred Hitchcock movie. She's 94 today. Actress, the late Jean Stapleton of All in the Family would have been 101. Actor Guy Madison of Wild Bill Hickok back in the 50s would have been 102. And talk about Minnesota Fats, right? We already talked about him. He would have been 111 years old. So there you have it, all of this day, and that's what's happening in history of entertainment. And happy birthday to all of those people, and happy birthday to you if you're celebrating a birthday as well. We really appreciate you being with us. And if you happen to be celebrating a birthday anytime soon, and if you don't like to just jump on the air and talk about it, we could announce it for you. All you have to do is get in touch with us, because I have an email address and a telephone number that you can indulge with too. I am going to give you my email address first. How about that? The email address is frankallenprod@aol.com. That's frankallenprod@aol.com. Now, Allan is spelled Allan. Prod is Prod. That's short for productions. It's very important to get the spelling of Allan right so you can get through, because if you spell it any other way, of course, it'll pop back to you. So that's Frank Allen Prod, Allan, Frank Allen Prod at AOL.com. That's Frank Allen Prod at AOL.com. Telephone number is 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. You can call or email 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I don't care. If you email us, of course, we'll get that. You call us, you can leave a message, and you could get in contact with us for any reason. For instance, if you have a birthday coming up, as I said, we'd be glad to hear from you and be glad to announce it. And those of you may want to know more about this show, we can provide you with all that information. You may want to critique the show. That's good too, because it helps us out a lot. We're thick skin around here. We don't get angry about anything like that, as long as you do it diplomatically. Or if you have an idea about the show, maybe there's someone you want to see on the show, or you want us to interview on the show, something like that, something to add on to the show. Just let us know. Be proactive. Keep all of that information in your telephone book. There are no more Rolodex. If they are, no one's using them. So everything is in that telephone. I mean, you got everything in there. So keep my email address and my telephone in as well. Again, that email address is frankallenprod@aol.com. That's frankallenprod@aol.com. The telephone number is 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. I want to just quickly elaborate on social media. Now, we all know that we are in a new age, and we're in the technological age. And everything is no longer analog, everything is digital, and so forth and so on. And it's good to know. And I thank social media for the fact that if it weren't for social media, I wouldn't be doing this show right now with you. I'd probably be doing it, but doing it someplace else. But I could talk to you live, right through Zoom, right through Facebook, right through Instagram and Facebook and YouTube as well. You know, and social media has been very good with that. But social media has its faults too. You know, I'll tell you an example. Just this past week, it didn't happen yet, and it probably won't, because it looked like it was kind of a hack or something. There were threats to me to permanently delete my account, my Facebook account. And they said because it was infringing on their policy. All right. And so I kind of tracked back to see what was it that I did, or what would justify them, you know, to delete my account. And I couldn't find it. You know, what did I say? What did I do? Because, you know, sometimes the social media will say something, but they won't tell you why. You know, we had that problem once before. They kicked us off for about a month, and we couldn't do the show on Facebook, but we did it on Instagram, and we did it on YouTube as well. But when that information came with me, it said something about, and it had no photo. It just said something, a guess, and there was a number. And right away, right there, that threw up a red flag. I said, okay, this is a hack. And that's when they gave me the note. They said it's infringing on our policy. And they gave me a link. Go to the link and tell us why if you have any problem, tell us why we should not, or give us a reason if this is a mistake. I never answered it because, you know, it didn't sound like it came from Facebook. It sounded like a hack. Now, all of us are being hacked. Every one of you guys, me and everyone else around the world, are being hacked by Facebook. I have friends that said, just the other day, a friend told me that, no, don't answer my requests. You already have me on there. Don't answer my friend requests. You ever gotten those? A lot of people have gotten those. I've gotten a lot of them, still get them every day. And it looks like at this particular day and age, they would clarify that or fix it up, but it just doesn't happen. But that's one of the things about social media. But, you know, it's good to have it, but sometimes we use it for the wrong purposes as well. You ever see some of the, for instance, some of the postings, and I'm not going to mention right now. Maybe I'll do it later if they make me blow my stack. But right now, I'm not going to mention. But there's two Facebook pages would come up. They come up with all of these conspiracy theories, right? For instance, I read one, and I'm pretty sure everyone read this one. Brian, if you're listening to this, I'm pretty sure you've seen this one. And it says, it's official, Candace Owens joins The View and throws out Joy Behar out of the show on her first day. Now, as far as I know, Candace is not on that show. They even threatened to kick Whoopi Goldberg off. I don't know what her status is, but they threatened to kick her off. And they said that they threatened to kick her off before they would have to cancel the show, The View. And all of these conspiracy theories, and I looked at that, I said, okay, you know, that's not right. I don't get to watch the show in real time. I'm just never around to watch it. every once in a while I may, but for the most part, I don't. And I look at the highlights on YouTube. I've yet to see Joe Bayer go on. I yet to see Whoopi Goldberg go on. And I've yet to see Candace Owens on the show. God help us if that happens, So all of these things happen, for whatever reason on these social media outlets. But we could talk more about that later. Maybe we'll do a show on that one day on social media and how it affects you, me, and the rest of us. But right now, I want to talk about those movies that you guys like so much, those classic movies. And I have my picks of the week for all of these great movies that you can watch. Now, if you're like me, you love the black and white movies. The black and white movies are marvelous. I love the black and white movies. And so I pick these movies each week for you to watch, hoping that you would love them. And they're only my picks of the week. And so I'm going to get started with them right now, and you can watch it this weekend. It's my pick for the week for your weekend. Here's a movie called Black Boy Jungle back in 1955, starring Glenn Ford, Vic Morrow, Anne Francis, and Sidney Poitier. And you can watch that. That comes on Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern. That's Black Boy Jungle. That's a great movie. It's a black and white movie. It's a great movie. And I think you'll like it. So check it out. Where the Boys Are, When the Boys Meet the Girls, I should say. 1965, Connie Francis, Harve Pesnell, and Sue Ann Langdon. That comes on Turner Classic Movies. That's Sunday at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. Now, I know that's early. That's why you can DVR all of these movies if you don't get a chance to watch them in real time. That's why I'm giving you the times right now that you can watch these movies. And so that's Turner Classic Movie. Again, that's Sunday at 6:15 a.m. When the Boys Meet the Girls. It's a great musical, too. And speaking of musicals, here's another one that I like. And this goes back to 1964. Get Yourself a College Girl. Dave Clark 5 and a lot of other groups like that. Brazilian Sounds of Astro Gilberto and a lot of groups like that are there. I think even Nancy Sinatra is in there. She has a little part in there. I believe that's the movie. But it's a good movie. I've seen it before. I just can't remember if Nancy Sinatra was in there or not, but I think she is. Get Yourself a College Girl, starring Marianne Mobley, and that's on Turner Classic Movies, and you will see that Sunday at 8 a.m. Again, that's too early for you? Maybe not, but you're on your way to church or doing your other Sunday activity. DVR it, watch it later at your very own convenience. And while you're there on Movie On Demand, go there and watch all the free movies right there from A to Z. They have a lot of listings of the movies past and movies that date back to 1930s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and so forth and so on. Movies that you haven't seen in a long time, they're right there for you. You can watch them. They're all free movies. And they're pay-per-view movies that are in the theater now that you can watch in the comfort of your own home. You have to pay a little more than the regular pay-per-view movies that are still there that were once in the movie theater, but just maybe a couple of weeks ago shifted to on demand. You can watch those too. They cost a little less than the other ones. And then you have great sporting events, children's programs, and you have documentaries and all kinds of good stuff right there on demand. And that'll cover your weekend. And of course, sporting events, as I said before. And of course, Brian already mentioned in his sports report, there's a lot of football coming on. You can watch that. So you have a full-packed weekend, and I hope that you do enjoy. So let me give you these movies again. Once again, Black Boy Jungle. And that's with Glenn Ford and Vic Morrow, Anne Francis, and Sidney Poitier. Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern on Turner Classic Movies. When the Boys Meet the Girls from 1965. That's on Turner Classic Movies. You can catch that Sunday. That's this coming Sunday at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. And finally, Get Yourself a College Girl. And that's on Turner Classic Movies. That's Sunday at 8 a.m. Eastern, and they're great movies. I hope you get a chance to watch some of these movies. And I will send you the Turner Classic Movies, by the way. Let me send you the Turner Classic Movies, by the way, and go through the program guide, because you may see other movies there that I haven't mentioned. Not that I don't like them, that these were my picks of the week. And you get a chance to see them. You can DVR them or watch them in real time. But nevertheless, you can watch it. Turner Classic Movies right there. That's going to wrap it up for me. Now, my weekend is officially underway, but I will be back here Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern for Talk Back Live. Brian Camp will be along with me with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. I hope you will be here too. If not, meet me back here next Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern for more of the Coffee Hour. We'll be looking for you. Brian will be here with sports and the whole 9 yards, and we'll talk about a lot of things, and you can have your own input in both of these shows. Okay? So until then, ladies and gentlemen, have yourself a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend, and I will catch you back here next week. Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.
You've been watching the Coffee Hour with your host Frank Allan. The producer has been Al Dale. Technical assistant Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer Donna Stanky. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on the Coffee Hour.